कल तक जो मेरा था आज वो मेरा है और आगे भी मेरा ही रहेगा बरखुरदार. Welcome one and all to the new ThyGap podcast episode. I am being Brute and with me is my awesome guest host.
Guest?
Yes, you are a guest host for this. You'll see, you'll figure it out later. Introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, this is Bogus Nook, but Brute, with one word, you just removed me from ThyGap.
No, I didn't remove you, but I'm setting the tone for the upcoming episode.
Okay.
So, be ready. Are there drum rolls? Do we have that sound effect? Did we buy it?
I'll add one.
Yes. So, the episode is going to be about this new age mysterious technology, or do we call mechanism? Whatever it is about blockchain.
Ooh.
And a term called NFT. So, Bogus Nook, welcome to the new ThyGap podcast. How have you been?
Thanks, Brute. I've been well. How about yourself?
Oh, I've been fantastic. With this oblivious knowledge of the new mechanism going around in the internet, which you have thrown light on recently,
Yeah.
I got pretty shocked. And I was like, oh my God, I'm missing out on so much money.
Oh yeah, we all are, in a way. So, just to give a brief gist, this episode is going to be all about blockchain, NFTs, what they actually mean, not just by definition, but what is the true influence that they're going to have on our lives.
Oh, I was actually thinking that sentence. Like you'll say that the impact it will have on our lives.
Impact it will have on our lives. And also how it's a realization of sorts of a dream that I had in my college days. Which was at a time when high-speed internet was also not widely available. No, I mean, it was not that early, but when high-speed internet was just starting to spread out, you know?
When you were in college.
Yeah.
Because when you were in college, there was no internet.
I know.
So don't try to be cool about it by saying that high-speed internets were not available.
No, so the dial-up modem time was when I was in my...
Which is why I did that sound.
Intermediate, like 11th or 12th. And then when I went to engineering, it was the high-speed cable net was starting off.
The LAN connections.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was when I had this dream of a technology where things would open up for creative artists or creative people. And that's basically been translated into what blockchain and NFTs are.
Yeah. So you kind of manifested your engineering dream or call it. What did you go to engineering?
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. I never feel that you're an engineering guy.
Brute, we're both electrical engineers.
Shut up. Don't have to rub it on my face, okay? But so you're basically saying that you've thought of this technology and bam, 15 years later or whatever number of years later, it got manifested by some guy, I'm assuming from Silicon Valley or maybe Indonesia, which is the darkest place for internet.
God knows. But not exactly this technology, the way it works, but in principle. So I'll clarify that. But welcome once again to everyone listening. You can follow us on our socials. On Instagram, we are
@_ThyGap.
And on Twitter, we are
@ThyGap.
And our Facebook is like...
ThyGap it is or something like that. But most importantly, right, we still are old school. We still have a Gmail account.
Yeah.
And that is?
mindthygap@gmail.com.
If you wouldn't have said .com, it would have confused the shit out of people. Man.
I know, right?
I mean, but thanks for abruptly throwing socials to our audience. Now we know that they have logged off from this podcast.
Yes.
But having said that, let's continue our conversation on blockchain.
Yeah.
And
so
NFT.
If anyone is wondering, why do we even need to hear about this topic? Well, let me give you an example. There is an artist currently in the US whose artwork was recently sold for $69 million.
Or is it 63?
63 or 69. What difference does it make?
69 is more sexual. That's
Yeah. So $69 million in a Christie's auction. So now you know why I need to pay attention.
Yep, you can be that guy too soon.
Yep.
Because we are trying to be, so make us one of that guy.
So I think
But Bogus, I think we're rushing through this. This is too fast for myself. So imagine everyone else. Because I have a very high IQ. You know that. Anyways. So there's a guy who basically sold something.
A digital art. It's not even physical.
Oh, so basically he sold an icon or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like a graphic design
Yeah.
on like a paint app,
Yeah.
which got sold for 63 million or whatever.
69.
69. And all this is because of...
This technology, the NFTs and the blockchain.
Got it. So you just threw those terms as if everyone understands. Let me just break it down, or let me just be more clear with you.
Mhm.
Speak to me as if I'm a golden retriever who's like a 6-year-old kid,
Oh, okay. Both.
right? Or both.
Yeah.
That makes the golden retriever very intelligent, by the way.
Exactly.
But yeah. So what is an NFT? What the fuck is blockchain?
Mhm.
I've heard of supply chain,
Yes.
and I've heard of supply
Mhm.
and also chain individually.
Mhm.
But what is blockchain?
So a blockchain is nothing but it's an online ledger, which is storing information about certain records, for example, ownership. Right? So this online ledger is not stored in a centralized location like a server, but it is stored in P2P, like peer-to-peer systems, which is, if you're a part of that network, like it's stored on computers worldwide. So it can be accessed anywhere. So it is decentralized. No one really holds that information to ransom. It can be accessed at any point of time by anyone.
Okay.
But it cannot be changed. It cannot be modified or manipulated because of the encryption technology that it uses.
So it's like a tattoo.
So it's like a tattoo, a digital tattoo.
Oh.
And if that tattoo
So it
says,
actually is? I thought throwing something
yeah,
on the
and
table. I wanted to
for example, Brute, if that tattoo says Brute owns this piece of land somewhere outside Hyderabad, that information can never be modified, manipulated by anyone. So your proof of ownership is something that can never be challenged once it is stored in the blockchain.
So this whole mechanism is blockchain.
This whole
Or is it like a part of this is blockchain?
no, this whole thing is blockchain.
So this whole thing is blockchain.
It is this online ledger of information.
Got
It contains only information in it, in the sense that if you, for example, store information about a song you created on the blockchain, the song itself is not going to be stored in the blockchain. But the fact that you created this song and the rights belong to you, that and the link to the song is stored in the blockchain. So you see the huge files, songs, videos, etc., they themselves are not stored. But the pointer to the file, like where can people download it, that is stored in the blockchain. And the encryption technology is such that no one can, fudge it, basically.
Interesting. So undoubtedly one of the most confusing explanations of like a technology. I thought it would be very simple, like, there's a guy and like you send a mail and you'll get whatever you want. But this is much more complicated, obviously. And I'm assuming that is why it took so long for us to establish this mechanism.
Probably, yeah.
I have two questions though.
Yeah.
Who owns the encryption technology? Because whoever owns this encryption technology, and I'm playing the devil's advocate, right?
Right.
He will be in for a lot of... It's like you're a bank, right?
Yeah.
So at any given point, you can just run away with the money.
It's open source. So there is no one owner. There could be one person who
Of the
invented
encryption technology also?
Yeah, yeah.
How is that possible?
No, it was given up.
Somebody would have started to code it, right? Or I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what
but
happens.
it's like the guy who discovered the polio vaccine. Like he chose not to patent it.
Oh, so he gave away the
He gave it
code
away.
to everybody.
Yeah, he gave it away.
Oh,
So,
such humanitarian.
yeah.
Who is he?
Jonas Salk.
Yeah, so you did your research. I like that.
I mean, it's hard to forget names of people who have these kinds of intentions. That
Heroic.
they realize. Yeah, they realize that if you patent this, then it could be used at ransom by pharma, like big pharma.
Yeah.
They could play price games with it.
What's happening with our vaccine?
Let's not even go there.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to draw a parallel.
The
Obviously,
vaccines are patented.
we are not anti-establishment. It's just a matter of better explanation.
The vaccines are very much patented.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, Jonas Salk died long time.
7 billion people,
Yeah.
each getting 2 shots at least.
Yeah.
Who's going to miss out on that?
No.
Everybody wants a pie of that kind of money.
Mm.
But anyways, good research, I want to give you 2.5 points for that.
Thank you.
So encryption technology is basically open source. So it is safe.
Yeah.
Because it's an open secret.
Yeah.
Which is so ironical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So great. Okay. Then there is this other thing that you said. Fuck, I forgot the question. I was so lost in the mesmerizing answer that you gave. So yeah, you said that it points to the direction of the owner.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? That's the message, or that's like the digital tattoo.
Yeah.
That is encrypted onto every file.
Yes.
Of the same.
No, in that particular block.
Okay, in that particular block.
So it's a chain of blocks, quite literally.
Okay.
And each block has its own information stored in it.
So if we have to like draw the blockchain in a board, it's literally blocks.
Yeah.
And each block has the name of the owner or whosoever, right?
Yeah.
Got it. So why is it so important that it will impact our lives? Like, I still didn't get that.
So nowadays with the world that we are in, bro, fake news, revisionist history being wiped out.
Are we really going to go into that list? Because
you asked the question. No, I'm going to wrap it up pretty quickly.
Okay.
But you asked the question, why?
Because you almost got me excited. Sorry.
Yeah, why is it important? I mean, blockchain is not there yet.
Yeah.
But this is where it is going to go.
Yeah.
For example, now there are people in China who have no clue about what their history was, who have no clue that many millions of people died of starvation because that information has been wiped out from their education, from their schooling, etc.
Okay.
So, and then there is fake news where people put something out with whatever intent, let's say malicious intent, that causes riots, that causes people to fight among each other.
Yeah.
You know, so basically with the media as well, as you can see, the information is being fucked with in a very big way.
Right.
Because information is power, information is wealth.
Today.
It always was.
Always is, yeah.
But we never had such a control of it where very few people get to own majority of the media houses, for example. For example, in the US, 6 companies own everything, the media.
Okay.
So when the control gets distilled to such an extent, there's a very easy possibility for humans to fuck with that. Because, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, because great power is not giving great responsibility nowadays. I don't know what's wrong with the power.
No, that's only in comics.
Spider-Man should come back.
Yeah, it's only in comics.
Yeah, Stanley just gave a great line. That's all.
That's about
there is no philosophy to it. It's stripped off the philosophy. But yeah, we are almost on the philosophical line, by the way. So
yeah, but I mean, the technology is not there yet because the blockchain cannot store a lot of information in it by itself. And that's the reason why exact videos, etc. are not being stored on there. And also the fact that it takes a lot of energy to actually add information to the blockchain. Energy in terms of electricity, in terms of fuel costs, etc. So that's the current day challenge. Okay. But the idealized conclusion of this technology will take it to a point where information cannot be fucked with as much. All right?
Okay.
Let's just leave that over there.
Yeah.
So the long-winded answer is over there.
Okay.
But now I'll take it back to my college days.
Can I just request you something?
Sure.
Before you go any deeper. Can you just in the middle keep asking me, did you get it? Because I'm not getting a lot of this stuff. So
I thought you have a very high IQ, as you said.
Yes, but this is way below my IQ. I mean,
okay.
Come on.
My apologies. My apologies, bro.
Essentially, you're talking about a flow chart with only one diagram. Come on.
My apologies.
Yeah, no, see.
Did you get it or was there anything else?
Yeah, I got it.
Wonderful. All that time.
No, I just wanted to
be acknowledged.
Yeah. Once in a while.
So
back in your college days.
Back in my college days, bro, which is the first time I had any idea or inclination that my interest would be more towards creativity or the creative side of things rather than a salaried employee. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just...
There is everything wrong with that. Don't hide your feelings.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
There is.
That is your opinion.
That's a universal opinion.
No,
it's just that people are not accepting it.
Okay, personally, I don't feel there's anything wrong with that. But
yeah, correct.
I realized that this is where my interest lay. And then, as I usually have a tendency to look into things and research or whatever, throughout history, I noticed this trend of, the art and the art dealer, which is...
Who is more important type?
Well, who really walks away with the most value? Is it the artist or is it the middlemen, the gatekeepers, or the art dealers? And usually in the art dealer traditional system, it's always been the case that the artists themselves always, or most of the time, tend to be on the struggling side.
Yeah.
They create these amazing pieces of art, but the returns or the value does not reach them as much.
Yeah.
It is mostly taken up by these middlemen.
There's a guy who slams the hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like the guy who initially coded DOS sold it to Microsoft for $50,000.
Yeah.
One-time
Dirt cheap.
payment, no royalties.
Yeah.
And Microsoft built Microsoft on top of that, which is going into like, look at $50,000 and
Even if you like
billions.
even if you like add all the inflation and all that crap, say if that guy sold DOS today, I don't think he would still earn a lot of money. He probably would be like, what, $1 million or something?
No.
This was in 80s, right?
It was in the 80s. So if you like adjust for inflation, it was worth whatever Microsoft became in those days.
Yeah.
When they came out with DOS and built Windows on top of it. So the fact is this pattern has always existed.
Yeah.
It's people who create, and it doesn't have
always stepped on.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be artist. It could be any kind of creativity, whether it's acting, whether it is a musician, whether it is electrician, carpentry, whatever.
Yeah.
Creativity applied in any field,
Yeah.
even in business. Like someone who comes up with a genius business model that is then copied and just...
They always say that, right? Like the guy who comes second into the race is somehow the guy who wins the most.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
It's so
That's
fun,
so
so
true.
ironical.
That is so true.
Right? And the other phrase, the first guy to go through the wall is the bloodiest.
Yeah.
Which is also so true.
It is true, yeah.
Right? And the other phrase?
Mm-hmm.
In our case, I think I am the artist.
Okay. But that is so funny because that's another thing that you can't escape noticing. Like if you're even a little bit observant, these reality shows, like singing shows, for example, the guy who came fourth or third ends up with
getting
a much
the best,
better choreograph than the guy who actually came first.
It's almost like, okay, fine, you can win now, but I'll win the war.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. It's somehow very, very disturbing.
Yeah, and even for people who come up with anything original or any significant piece of work, it takes a lot out of them.
Yeah.
And for them not to get the returns or the value that they deserve.
Yeah.
It is a gross injustice. And it's been existent for time immemorial.
Correct.
And when I first came across this pattern, I can't tell you how much it pissed me off.
You know what? I mean, like coming to that pattern, right? I got another example in my head, which I think is very relevant. It's basically, it might be a quote from me. It might be a unique quote from you.
Go for it.
It's never the guy who sets the record. It's the guy who breaks the record who gets more popularity. You know what? How I came down to this point, like how I remembered, till Anil Kumble took 10 wickets in the innings, I never knew that somebody actually did it before him.
Right. Right.
So when he broke that record or when he followed that record, that's when I was like, oh, there was a guy who actually did that before.
Oh, there was someone called Jim Laker?
Yeah, Jim Laker actually did it. He was a left arm spinner. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
How come I don't know about this? It's so ironic. And I'm pretty sure it's always about the guy who's breaking the records. So who's basically the second guy, right? And when you think about it, it's kind of disturbing. It's like, okay, wait for somebody to set a record, then go for it. Like, don't try to set a record yourself.
But the slight difference is, this guy who's coming second is not doing anything malicious against the guy who came first. It's just the nature of the world.
I'm just talking about
if you look at the art and art dealer aspect, right, that is quite different.
Yeah, he's stealing away.
That is exploitative.
Yeah.
And
that is malicious.
For
that word now.
For example, if there's a movie that does not do well as soon as it gets released, but over a period of time, it gathers this cult following.
Yeah, Andaz Apna Apna.
And Big Lebowski, for example.
Lebowski, yes.
And when that happens, and when the money starts pouring in much later, shouldn't the actors
also get
or the writers, get a cut of that? Like, why does it always have to go all to the producer?
So I'll put it in this way. Their value does increase later on, right? Like, if say Amir Khan and Shah Rukh Khan forever they will always be valued for the guys who played, in Andaz Apna, right? And later on, their value kind of increases. They get better remunerations. They get more opportunities.
Yeah.
So it transcends in its own way, or it adds value in its own way. Not necessarily probably monetarily, but I mean even monetarily
Social
in a way,
capital.
but not for that. Probably not for that particular project, but for the future projects, they're obviously like they're rewarded much more than what they might deserve, right?
I agree. But in the situation where they continue to have a career after that, for the guys who are like one-hit wonders and they disappeared, they didn't get chances, because a lot of it has to do with luck, right? So if a guy was part of one landmark film and it ended up earning a lot over time, but he, for whatever bad luck or whatever reasons, he was not able to continue his career after that, then he has no scope. He just got that one-time payment. The movie continues to make money. The producer continues to get returns, but none of it goes to the crew. None of it goes to the cast. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, is it really a fair distribution of effort to reward kind of thing? And it could be that this actor is why people actually turned in for the movie.
I can also kind of play the devil's advocate. The
Sure.
risk is being put more by who?
The producer.
So hence the reward should go to who?
We can talk about percentages. Like the producer, and you're not wrong, the producer is taking a huge risk by putting money there.
Right.
So in respect of that fact, the bulk or the heavy percentage should probably go to the producer. And I'm just saying a little bit like micro percentages, to the cast and crew, so that over the period of years, even if money keeps pouring in, the producer still continues to get the lion's share.
Right.
But these people also get whatever small share. And over their career, if they worked in 15 films or 25 films, and if they start earning little by little for each and every film, that means the retirement plan is set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So my point is,
another observation.
Yeah.
Have you ever observed yourself when you try to go intense, you kind of go like, almost whisper, do you realize the retirement plan is set?
I mean, maybe.
Get it? Okay.
I
It's
guess.
just like, that's why I laugh. I'm like, why is this guy getting so emotional?
No, because this is, like I said, it really just frustrated me like to no end. And back then, and even now, I have the same frustration because it is just unfairness. Anytime you observe something that is so blatantly unfair, and you know that there is a better solution, then why is that solution not being implemented? That is the source of frustration.
Got it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And so,
I understand. They're there.
yeah, and thank you. And so when I was in college and when I thought of this,
Mechanism.
I just felt that there should be a fair way of
Distributing
value, not just wealth.
Or is it a reward of effort?
Like you said, when I say value, like you said, it's not just financial. It could be social capital. It could be whatever, blah, blah, blah. There's multiple forms of value.
Right.
But it's just respecting someone's effort.
So basically what you're saying is the effort should be rewarded as long as the reward keeps coming. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
In whatever percentages.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Which is fair. Because once you talk about percentages, once you recognize that the producer did definitely take the bulk of the risk,
Correct.
let him get the bulk of the reward.
Right.
So that's what I feel. And so I was thinking there should be a way, and this was when the internet was, like I said, we just
High
got
speed.
past dial-up and we went to high speed.
Yeah.
And the only way I saw possible for that ever to happen was the internet. Like I didn't see any other way that it could be executed. But there were two aspects to this. One is the monetary aspect, the financial security of an artist. Or when I say artist, let's say businessman who came up with the business model. A plumber who came up with a revolutionary design. But he was the first and he changed the industry.
There was a paradigm shift.
Yeah, because of what this guy came up with. So in respect to that, we need to
Appreciate
and value these people.
Yeah.
And
I give tips to all my plumbers. I genuinely appreciate.
That's good. That's
I
great.
mean, like, I don't know if I'm contributing to the blockchain,
No.
but
But you're
I do that.
contributing directly to the plumber.
Yeah, I'm like, I like that. Like,
Yeah.
like be on their face and get that ego massage. Like, take this 50, keep it.
So that was just one aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know, the financial security aspect of it. Now there's another aspect to this, which is the artistic legacy or the legacy of the art. You know, let me explain what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can see your face. It twisted.
Yeah. Because you went mythological.
No.
You went like legacy.
So one of the reasons why we choose to endeavor in such a way, we create these pieces of art, it is to outlast us. Now, we are very aware of our mortality.
Yeah.
We're going to die.
Oh, like that you're saying. Now I got that.
But when we make art, our hope is that even after we pass,
you live through the art.
you live through the art. This will live on.
Just like how Gandhi lived through the notes, the currency notes.
Okay.
Is it? I mean, like, he didn't create it and all, but he posed for the picture at least.
Yeah.
Come on.
And so, I mean, I have to think that at the core of any true artist, and once again, when I say artist, I don't mean just creative fields, but at the core of any true artist, there is that desire to live on through their works.
Yes.
Right? Now, you look at, let's take music, for example.
Okay.
Right? You look at Beatles. You look at Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
They've created these seminal pieces of art where it came out in the 60s.
Yeah.
But
it's still relevant.
It doesn't matter because the music is still great. People are, consuming.
Beyond time.
It's timeless.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm sure even at an artistic level, they would also want their art to live on.
Correct.
But in this current methodology we have of copyright and especially copyright, where because of the popularity of a certain artist's work, there is already a high barrier of entry. Like you and I, if we make a video tomorrow and we really want to use a Pink Floyd song because the song is perfect for the video, we can't because we can't afford it.
It's too much of royalty.
Because of copyright and royalties. Now, if that stops me and you from using this art, it stops everyone else, all the small, like our level guys, to use that art.
Right.
What happens because of that? The art does not get used. The art does not get shared as much or propagated.
Okay.
The art dies because of that. Like if you look at generational shift, like when these songs came out in the 60s, it created a revolution. Almost everyone was aware of it.
Right.
Next generation, probably still they were aware of it. But then 80s, now you see that reduction. It starts reducing. Now you ask people outside, are you aware of this? You'll find many people may not be aware.
That's why never ask people outside. Bring them in.
Exactly. And then ask
where
them.
there are posters and like you set up the whole thing.
Play the song.
Yeah. Why do you think the concept of journalists going out and asking questions to the public is reducing? Because they know they don't know the answer they want.
Yeah.
So they bring them into the newsroom and then ask the question.
And then lead them. Like, do you mean to say this?
Yeah.
No.
So what you're saying is...
So what you're saying is...
Oh, Virat Kohli sucks.
But yeah, so...
But that's a good point.
Now the art dies. Now, if the art is dying, is this really what an artist wants? It's happening not because of the artist. It's happening because of these middlemen and the games they are playing, which is copyright, royalty.
Obviously, they want to promote their existing current star or,
Not just promote. It's also
agenda.
the producer mentality, which is, I made this album. My company pushed it out. So all of the revenue has to come my way. And because it is popular, I'm going to set a high price. But the downside of this is the art tends to die. And when it is great art, I don't think it should die. Now, what happens with blockchain and this way of recording ownership and setting, like you have something in blockchain called smart contracts. Okay. Now, imagine you and I make a video now, same scenario. We want to use a Pink Floyd song, right? Now, we have a smart contract where in that blockchain, in that ledger, it mentions that the artists are ThyGap, they've used a song by Pink Floyd, and there is this percentage split for revenue. So if that video has 100 views, then both me and the artist is going to get peanuts.
Right.
Basically. But the art is still being propagated.
Right.
Suppose our video gets 100 million views. Now, because... Knock on wood, yeah. But because we set a higher percentage for the artist.
Yeah.
Because we want to be fair.
He'll get a major chunk of the revenue.
They'll get a major chunk.
But it still works out even if we are just getting 100 views. Because say if more people use the art, they still are like, net they're in profit.
Exactly, because more people are doing it.
Yeah.
So the whole thing about Bitcoin and crypto is introducing into our understanding this aspect of microfinance. It doesn't always have to be these many dollars or these many rupees. You can go to fractions also, because the number of people who are
break down the currency into smaller parts.
Yeah, and because the number of people who are now using it are a lot.
Right.
So you get what you deserve at the end, So these are the two aspects that I had in mind.
I'm just wondering, where is this NFT fitting in this whole thing? First of all, what the hell is NFT?
NFTs are basically the expansion of that term is non-fungible tokens.
Okay. So it's not like KFC.
No, not at all.
Okay. It's not edible.
Because KFC is fungible, and fungible means, it can be destroyed.
Oh, I thought fungible was changeable. And I was just about to say, why can't they just use NCT? Non-changeable token.
Yeah, they're just trying to
why
be
they
posh.
have to complicate everything?
Just trying to
so
be posh.
malicious.
It's a Western thing, bro, to complicate.
Yeah. It's almost like pharma.
But NFT is non-fungible token, which means indestructible tokens. And these are nothing but, it could be anything. Like nowadays, because this technology is just starting out, NFTs are mostly digital pieces of art, like a graphic design.
They're icons.
Just imagine. And we use that as an NFT, which is just to say that an artist creates a piece of art. And when he creates an NFT, he's basically recording information in the blockchain.
Okay.
That this is the artist owner, and there is an ownership certificate, original ownership certificate. And the artist, when he makes an NFT, it means it can be traded in an online marketplace. So, So for example, Don Rickles.
Okay, I'm all yours.
That's it. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Don Rickles, who is, of course, for those who are not aware, a pillar of stand-up comedy.
Legend.
And of course, Brute is a huge fan of Don Rickles. So let's say Don Rickles made an NFT during the Sinatra days, where he was performing in those underground clubs. He was not still popular. Only the mafia was allowing him to kind of perform.
Right.
So his value was not yet out in the open.
Right.
If Don Rickles had made an NFT at that point of time.
But what could he have made? Because there's no internet back
Let's say, just imagine. Let's imagine that.
Like give it like a physical representation.
A digital photo of Don Rickles and his wife. Just imagine.
Oh, okay. Fine.
And he puts that up on an online marketplace and says, to support me as an artist, this value of this token is $100.
Okay.
And I made like 50 tokens. Each one of those tokens. And the thing about NFTs is you can't have more than one identical piece.
Okay.
It has to be unique.
Okay.
So either you make it unique in the way that the design is unique, or you make the same design and you assign numbers to them. This is card number 1, card number 2, card number 3.
Got it.
But backend in the blockchain, the information stored says who the original artist is. There is a certificate of authenticity. There is also information stored about what is the royalty split to the artist.
Got it.
The artist can decide at the time of creation of the NFT that I want a royalty of 10% or 20% or 30% and so on.
Got it.
And that is forever stored. So Don Rickles now sells his first original NFT at $100. But as Don Rickles becomes the Don Rickles, this token that was originally worth $100 is now worth $1 million.
After 40 years.
After
50 years.
Well, No, after I think 20-25 years, that's how long it took for him. Not even 20 to 15.
What, 20 years back, it's 2000.
No, I'm talking about
Oh, for him. Oh,
For
no,
him.
no.
He took like what,
It
10?
took like about 5-6 years
5-6 years
Yeah.
to become the
to
Don
become
Rickles.
Don Rickles. Because his first go was Frank Sinatra, right?
Right.
Like his first set of audience were the Copacabanas.
Right.
And, the Italian gang.
Right.
So he got exposed to Frank, and Frank took a liking for him immediately. So he started opening for Frank.
Right.
And then he got introduced to the Rat Pack and Dean Martin and Johnny Carson and all.
Exactly.
So he kind of like, after it took off, like, it was pretty fast.
So 5-6 years.
Yeah, about like, yeah.
So let's say the first NFT that he created was for $100. Someone bought it
Okay.
to support Don Rickles. And that paid for Don Rickles coffee and food at that point of time.
Right.
Then, as Don Rickles' value appreciated, the value of the NFT also appreciated. Now that is worth $500. So the guy who bought it first for 100 sells it again in the trading marketplace. He gets a cut. Now he gets $500. Don Rickles gets that 10% or 20%, whatever he assigned.
So is this on top of that $500?
No, inclusive. Like
Okay, so $450 is given to the seller and
the seller. So now
Got it.
this guy who bought it for 100 is now making $450 on it, right? And then as the value goes up, right, people can keep trading these non-fungible tokens, but still the original artist keeps getting royalties.
Yeah, how much can it be sold? How many times can it be sold?
Unlimited number of times. It's always in the marketplace. So there are some people who will hold on to certain pieces because they think it will appreciate in time.
Right.
There are some people who will decide to sell it off when they see a 100x return or a 200x return.
So when this guy dies, what happens?
If the value shoots up, they'll sell it again. And the amount will go to his estate, Don Rickles' estate.
So his kin or someone.
His kin, yeah, whoever is there in his will, basically. So it's never ending revenue for the original artist.
For the whole family.
For the whole family. And the way NFTs are being used now is also a way to reward those fans who support the artist. So there's a music band in the US that put out an NFT which said whoever has the ownership of this NFT can come to all of our live shows forever for free. Wherever we are performing, you get front row access, back seat, back room access, all of that. If you purchase this NFT. And the value was high, obviously. They're popular musicians.
Yeah.
So if you buy...
That is anticipated.
Yeah, if you buy that NFT, you're not only supporting your artist initially, but the artist gets to reward you as well. Because they, in the smart contract, they put this clause that whoever has the ownership of this gets these privileges. So it's an amazing system where the audience gets to reward the artist gets to reward the audience, and there are absolutely
and everybody wins.
And there are no middlemen.
What will happen to middlemen then?
I think you get fucked. No, but
so aggressive.
Honestly,
they'll start making NFTs, dude. Obviously.
No, honestly, but yeah, they also can. And the middlemen are basically, it's not like the middlemen have no value, because the middlemen are these software developers who come up with these technologies, who maintain these technologies for you, who, as an artist, you may not have the technical savvy to manage your online marketplace. So you will invite these middlemen, so to speak, to do that for you, and you'll pay them whatever salary they want. And the multiple levels that this goes to is just mind-boggling, because we talked about that artist, right? His name is Beeple, whose work of art went for $69 million. $63 million.
Yeah.
The original story of that is this guy is a prolific graphic designer.
So he's already rich.
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's in his 30s now.
Okay.
And he's not rich. But he's a very prolific graphic designer.
After selling it for $63 million, he's still not rich?
Oh, no. I mean, before this happened.
Oh, like that is it.
He was a very middle class guy. Wife.
वो पहले बहुत poor था.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Wife, kid, all of that. Then he announced online, but he had critical acclaim. Like, people knew that this guy is a fantastic graphic designer. What he announced was he's going to make one piece of digital art per every day. And that's a project that he embarked on, and he made like 1,000 pieces of art for 1,000 days. And each one of them is
That's like 3 years.
maybe, but each one of them is like amazing. And each one of them he made an NFT. Okay. So these NFTs allowed people to support him financially. So initially they went for $4,000, $5,000, which is a lot. $18,000.
Yeah.
Then it went to $100,000, $150,000, each one of these pieces.
Shit.
Once his entire...
Why didn't they stop supporting him?
No, once the entire project was done and he had his 1,000 pieces of art, what he did was he made a super collage of all those 1,000 pieces of art right next to each other in a huge collage. Because it's digital, the scale can be unlimited. So he made extra high resolution collage of each and every one of those. So anyone who owns that can zoom in and look at
Each and every
one in great clarity. This art piece, when he made it, by the time he already was earning fame because of the NFTs that he was selling. Like they started at $10,000, $20,000, went to $500,000. Then he took...
And people forgot to stop supporting him.
Exactly. And then he took all of them, he made one collage. Someone smart enough came and said, I want to auction it on Christie's, which is that famous auction house in the UK.
Yeah. And this guy, Beeple, is from UK?
He's US. I think so, yeah. He's an American. So this guy said, I want to auction your artwork in Christie's. And when that auction happened, some guy called Meta Coven bought it at $63 million.
In an auction?
In an auction.
So if he has bought it for that kind of amount, there were bids?
There were bids.
Up till 63?
Yeah.
Shit, dude.
So I don't know how closely contested the bids were, but this guy obviously really wanted it. He just put down $63 million and he is now the owner.
How long back was this? Was this during the pandemic time?
In the last, I think, 3 to 4 years time. I don't know exact time frame.
So that means it's been quite some time.
Very less, dude. It's like
the reason I'm asking, I was imagining that because it's a digital asset.
Yeah.
Right? And I was just imagining that this Zoom call where people are like auctioning.
It could be that also.
Like because from around the world. And the auctioneer is not able to figure out who actually bid because he can only see so many screens in the Zoom.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello.
I said 700, not 700,000. Hello.
like I said 63. And I was talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And they said it was 63 million.
Yeah.
So I'm bankrupt now.
But the guy Meta Coven, who nobody knew his identity, he bought it from Singapore.
Why is everything so mysterious? There's a guy called Beeple and then there's Meta Coven who's...
These are online names like Bogus Nook and Being Brute. Why are we so mysterious?
We are not mysterious. We are so vulnerable and open about our lives.
Right. So this guy...
Sweating.
He bid for that piece of art from Singapore. Like you said, it was virtual.
It is. See, I guessed it right.
So it
was a Zoom call.
Yeah. He's a Singapore-based guy.
Yeah.
Venture capitalism and all that he's into. And no one knew his identity. When after the whole sale and everyone went crazy, like $63 million for a digital piece of art.
For an icon, 1,000 icons together.
Then Meta Coven chose to really, reveal himself. Turns out he's a early 30s guy, Vignesh Sundaresan.
What are all these young people so rich for?
Dude.
Like we are 30 plus, we are not rich.
We are not rich.
What nonsense is this? Unfair, bro.
Yeah.
I'm suddenly losing interest on blockchain.
Don't worry, we'll make our own NFTs pretty soon.
We will, absolutely.
Yeah. So
all the dirty chats we had, like like conceptualizing ThyGap, these are all NFTs, guys.
Vignesh Sundaresan, an Indian guy, early 30s, based in Singapore, lives in a box apartment, has no car, doesn't have as much furniture at all in his house.
But a millionaire.
But he's a millionaire who owns a $63 million piece of art. Obviously, this is mind-bending. So he revealed himself and he was invited to all kinds of interviews, as you can imagine.
Obviously, somebody has spent 63 million on an icon.
Yeah. And then I watched a couple of his interviews. His guy is like, you have to see this guy. He talks like he's floating in the clouds,
Yeah, that's because of drugs, bogus. Like,
No,
when
Singapore.
you're that rich,
So not even a chance of that. You know.
when you're that rich, you have access. Okay.
But this lady asked him from media.
Why are you talking in the clouds?
No, she asked him, it's like, you have an artwork worth $63 million and you don't own a car, you don't have furniture in your house.
Yeah.
How do you, can you explain that?
Was he like, I have cars in my computer, like I have wallpapers which are worth like 8 million.
Probably. Like Vignesh was like, what will I do with the car? Where will I go? Where will I keep it in Singapore? Singapore parking is literally this
Like
guy.
middle class. This is the problem with South Indians, I feel. We can't, no matter how much money we have, like, I know I'm condescending, but South Indian people just can't act rich. They have such middle class approach to life,
which
like,
I love, which is great.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you have money, you show off. I mean, look at Hardik Pandya. Okay, I'm digressing,
Right.
but I need to. Hardik Pandya comes from a very humble background.
Yeah.
Okay, but the moment money hit him,
Yep.
like everything else hit him.
It stuck to his
Jamaican
face.
hairstyles,
Yep.
like expensive watches
Yep.
which don't suit him, like cars that you point at a car, he can buy it and all that, right? And then comes Dinesh Karthik. Okay,
Yeah.
money hit him too,
Yep.
or even better, Ravi Ashwin. Money hit him too.
Yes.
He just wants to be intelligent.
That's it.
Like you don't see money on him. Like you don't see like, oh, he's like, whatever, lot of money, he's rich. No, you see like, oh, he's an engineer, right? Like you look at Rahul Dravid, any of these guys. That's a problem. I think we need to change our attitude. Bogus promised me when we become like rich, right? We're going to throw money on everything. Like we're going to show off our money.
I don't think so. I mean, it's a great observation by you, but whatever the root cause of that is, I love it. I don't want to change a thing. Like,
no, but it puts us in, poor taste. It's as if like, oh, you don't know how to spend money. You're buying icons for 63 million.
no, I think we know how to spend. Like this guy, he knows how to spend.
No,
because,
I'm sure because we are smart. We are intelligent.
she asked him, so what's the plan? What are you hoping to get out of, where is your ROI from the 63 million? And he very simply, like I told you how he talks, right?
Yeah.
Clouds. This guy is like, you see, I see this as a piece of internet history,
So someday
it will be more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
It will be very, very much more valuable. And she's like, what do you plan to do with it? Where do you plan to store it? He's like, I'm working on a digital museum, where this artwork will be hosted. Basically, human beings have always had this intention of collecting things. Like, bro, you collect watches. He's talking about the same thing. Like, human beings have this interest of collection. Like, they just want to collect it either to showcase it or for their own, satisfaction or whatever it is, their own fulfillment.
Yeah.
But that mentality of collection
Yeah.
is there. Like stamps, you name it. People
Souvenirs.
have it.
Sentimentalities.
Yeah.
That's what we live on.
So I plan to display this in my digital museum where anybody can walk in to that museum. They can zoom digitally. They can zoom in to whichever part of the artwork they want and they can enjoy this piece of art. And so he's like, what do you mean digital museum? It's like, oh, a while back I had invested in digital real estate. So I had purchased a certain piece of real estate and in order to build this museum where I can host my collections, and I got in touch with a few architects to build this digital museum for me. So these architects are actually building a virtual, and
museum.
any architect first creates their designs in the computer.
Yeah.
Right. So pretty much these are real world architects, professional architects. He commissioned them to build this digital museum, which is like any other museum entrance, all that stuff, big hall, lobby, all that stuff, like an exact museum. And the kicker is the museum itself is an NFT. So the architects get to keep earning as the value of the museum increases. Okay. The land, the real estate itself is an NFT. So if the land value appreciates, whoever owns that NFT of that land, they get to keep benefiting from that value. So we are looking at a scenario where the architect has part ownership of the building, but does not have any ownership of the pieces of art inside.
Yeah, but still he's making money.
But still he's making money because of just his work.
Yeah.
He's an architect. He came up with this design. He built this virtual museum. He gets to earn for life. And inside the museum, Vignesh Sundaresan, whatever digital pieces of art he puts up, he gets to earn from those. Like, what insanity is this?
As amazing as the story is, what are the two takeaways that I have?
Yeah.
The first takeaway is what I already told. No matter how much money you give to,
South Indians.
a South Indian,
Right.
he just can't pull off being rich. And you can take a South Indian out of South India, but you can't take the software development of a South Indian.
Yeah.
The fact that he's building a digital museum is the epitome of every South Indian guy's dream of becoming a software developer.
Yeah. And
like everything has to be related around, I have a software and I'm developing it.
seriously. And this inception kind of value, the
NFT
ROI,
into NFT.
it's like architect keeps earning with the museum, Vignesh keeps earning with his art week, whoever owns
There
the
will be
land.
one junior Java developer like who measures the digital real estate, he'll be earning money.
It's insane, dude.
But this is like crazy. Like
This is revolutionary, actually.
how much, but as good as it looks,
Yeah.
I'm sure there are, caveats, right? How legal is it? Like,
No, it is. There's no question of legality. The challenge right now is, it is a very big challenge to have physical NFTs. Like, if you built something like a piece of wood, a piece of artwork, just out of wood carving,
you can't encrypt shit onto it, right?
to trade
That's a
that as an
challenge.
NFT, you have to make a digital version of it, and that's a little challenging right now because the technology is still in the infancy.
Primitive.
Yeah, but the way it is going and the direction it is going,
Yeah, I'm sure it will evolve, obviously.
it is going to evolve.
Yeah, we've evolved from barter system to NFT,
Yeah.
crypto. So I'm sure it will evolve. But how legal is it? Are you still not answering my question?
So legality again is subjective because each and every country can have its own stance on it in terms of legality. Right now, people are earning a lot of money. So it is at least legal in the US or in the West. I don't know what India's stance is on NFTs, but definitely
We'll
they're
get
not
to know
going
in
to.
about 40, 50 years. I'm
yes,
sure.
of
like,
course.
At the speed at which we work on new age technology,
Yeah.
in 40, 50 years, bogus, we are millionaires, okay? Where the value of million will not be very high.
Exactly.
But we will be millionaires, okay?
Exactly.
But that is interesting.
It
That's
is.
this is one thing I really want India to do, right? Whatever technology we lost. Like, fuck it. Mobile phones, TVs, all this crap. But I think it's time as a government or as a governance, we need to adapt or adopt these new age technologies as fast as possible. Like crypto, it should be a geo. Blockchain, with the way whatever I've heard as of now, and also the 8.5 hour speech that you gave before we started recording, with all this information, I definitely think they should adopt to this and make it a norm.
I think they will, because you can't ignore that much value.
Like immediately. I'm sure they will at some point.
That I don't really think we can rely on governance or government for that, because they're practically useless. As the people, we have to actually force their hand.
But where do we go? Like crypto is such a huge challenge right now, right?
They've legalized it.
In India?
Yeah, recently.
Where can you buy crypto? You can't buy crypto in India.
You can. You saw how many ads during
Let's stop the
cricket
recording.
matches. No. Crypto,
Let's.
again, I want to clarify. Crypto is not blockchain.
No, I know. They're two different things.
Crypto is just...
Blockchain is a flowchart.
Crypto is just using blockchain technology. That's it.
Their currency denomination.
Their currencies, and which crypto is actually valuable. A lot of research needs to be done in that. Otherwise, you could really burn your hands.
Yeah, just go for Ethereum, guys.
No, not financial advice. So that's the whole beauty of this. And when I heard of all this stuff happening, and when I saw that guy Vignesh and his interview and the way he thinks about all this stuff.
That's so charming about a South Indian.
Oh
It's
my
just the way
God,
he thinks.
it's mind blowing.
if only we can understand every South Indian's way of thinking, I think we could have been a better place to live in.
The problem is you have to goad them into talking.
Yeah,
Like they're not going to open their mouth
Never.
by themselves.
First of all, there's language barrier within South India.
Yeah.
Like one state speaks Malayalam, one state speaks like Kannada, Tamil, and there are like 5 different languages in 4 states. So having a conversation becomes very tricky.
Yeah. But this is where it's going. And if
So shout out to, what is his digital name?
Metakovan.
Metakovan. Good job, bro.
Yeah.
Good job.
Great job. I mean,
But tell us, how did you earn that 63 million? I think that's
VC.
what we want to know.
He
Yeah,
was
that's
into-
what. Like,
yeah.
how did he get into it? How did the whole 9 yards, man?
yeah, that I don't
We also
know.
want to buy NFTs, please.
No, NFTs are going to be valued at different rates. Like there could be an NFT which is very affordable to you now. It's just that are you smart enough to identify that this value will appreciate in future? And so you look at it as an investment.
The worst part is like, you can't even figure out, right? Like, how will you figure out an NFT will garner more value unless it already has a certain base value?
That's a good point, because it can be purely speculative,
Yeah.
like investing in stocks.
Right.
But then there could be a scenario where if there are a few people, for example, who really like ThyGap and they want to support us at this stage
Yeah.
where we barely have anything, right?
You have nothing, bogus.
Exactly. So
Don't try to marginally better our position, okay? Barely have something like, no, we have nothing.
always optimistic. So I'm just saying, if they decide to support us,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that whatever I'm seeing these guys do, I know that these guys are going to be something in future.
Oh, I thought you'll go into that loop. I know that they know that
No.
we know.
It's either that, which
Yeah.
is I can see promise, I can see potential,
Yeah.
and I want to put my money there. Or it is, I just want to support them, and you have a lot of people donating to Patreon. You have a lot of people donating to artists in other ways. This is just another way where you also get to earn in the future if the value appreciates,
Yeah.
or the artist can actually reward you through Patreon. So donations, for example, the artist does not have a way to, the max they do is we have Patreon exclusive content.
Yeah. I think the value proposition is very skewed.
Very
to
limited.
Patreon. Yeah, very limited scope.
Yeah.
But my takeaway from what you've said is, if you see potential, make it an NFT. Don't make it Prithvi Shaw. Okay? Never make a potential Prithvi Shaw. Please. Because that's exactly NFT, right? Like, there is potential in Prithvi Shaw, but will Prithvi Shaw become like high potential NFT?
And that's the gamble you're taking.
Yeah. It's
which
just like a
is-
stock, right?
It's just like a stock. It's either because if you're not really connected to Prithvi Shaw, if you don't have that personal thing for him, concern for him, then it is purely speculative.
Yeah.
But if you care about Prithvi Shaw,
Nobody cares about Prithvi Shaw.
but if you care about Prithvi Shaw, then it's like, let me support him,
Yeah. Let me bat on his behalf.
Yeah, let me bet on his
I just
behalf.
wear his jersey and play on his behalf.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Got it.
right now, with the limitation, the whole value prop is being seen in the art world purely. It's just
It's understandable also, right?
it is mostly graphic design, or it is motion graphics, where there's VFX going on in that,
Yeah.
and it is like on a loop.
I've read a couple of articles where the first meme got auctioned, or the first meme was sold as an NFT.
Yeah,
And I've heard that Jay-Z got into this whole NFT business.
everyone, like footballers are getting
Footballers,
into it.
Basketball players.
Sports people are getting into it.
I think they have the best. They and the entertainment industry people. I think they have the best chance of making NFT. Like, imagine.
Also, Pawn tends to have a lot of influence in how things go.
Mm-hmm.
If Pawn adopts this in a big way, with sports people already adopting it, by the way, it doesn't need anyone to adopt it. The technology is there. And
I'm saying, like, get involved.
get involved, yeah. And
participate.
the whole Beeple artwork, 63 million, that itself tells you that there is
Potential.
There is potential here.
Yeah.
And the fact at how it beautifully, it removes middlemen.
What will pawn people do? I'm sorry, I'm just stuck to that. How will pawn? I was thinking, how can a pawn star or people involved in pawn create an NFT? Like, if they have their first headshot picture or something, it might be a taboo too. Like, whoever owns that NFT,
Right.
the information is available, right? Like, he's the owner of the NFT,
Yeah.
which you might not want to know.
Yeah.
or which you might not want to tell people,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's going to be a very, very tricky.
So it's
business.
only an issue for people who have reservations against that.
Yeah.
But there'll be many people who don't have any. They don't care,
Like the Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah, they don't care. And so things like the original business model, imagine a Toyota where the CEO originally sketched the business model on a tissue paper and there's an image of that with his handwriting. That can become an NFT. So anything you can convert into an NFT, it's not to do with the token itself, but what value other people invest in that.
Yeah. Like I was thinking imagine the first audition tape of Robert De Niro,
Oh, yeah.
or currently, rest in peace, SP Balasubramaniam.
Yeah.
His first original song, unedited song,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So-
Our human trials episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's a bunch of potential things in
Yeah.
ThyGap that can be NFTs.
Yeah. I have dirty pictures also.
Like, have you guys heard our promo song that we just put out? It's a trailer on Spotify.
trailer. Please
It's called
go through that.
ThyGap Thursdays or the Ballad of Santosh.
Ballad of Santosh. I think.
Yeah.
It's Ballad of Santosh.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's more of recitation, rhythmic recitation than like a poetry or a song.
It is a song.
It is?
Yeah, it is a song.
We narrated a song. I think it's the first of its kind, people.
No.
It's the only song which has been narrated. It's not sung, okay?
No, it's the blacks who have the original claim.
You
on
call it a rap?
that. It's not a rap.
Are you calling a song a rap song?
in jazz also.
Oh, like that.
They've done this where they've spoken over music. So
Yeah.
they really have the claim to that. But check it out, guys.
Please check it out.
It's pretty interesting. Santosh is in a dilemma. Find out what it is.
We don't want to reveal anything more.
Yeah.
You can check it out on an encrypted technology, what it means.
But that's about NFTs and blockchain and all of that goodness. It is a revolution.
I'm still waiting for you asking me, did you get it?
Because by your questions and your conversation, bro, I could figure out that you got it.
The fact that I was asking questions, don't you get a doubt? Like, did this guy get what I'm saying?
No,
But
I'm
no,
sure
I
you
got it because I have high IQ.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
The fact that I'm discussing NFTs already is the fact that I got it.
Yeah. And that brings us to the end of this episode. What did you guys think of blockchain, NFTs, but more importantly, the whole aspect about the art and the art dealer and the legacy of art? Do we want art to die out or not, etc., etc. mindthygap@gmail.com is where you get to pour your wisdom, and then we'll decide whether we want to look at it or not. But as always, bro, at the end of every episode, we remind our listeners, ThyGap, subscribe
And share.
and share.
And support us also.
Buy our NFTs when they come out.
Ting, 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 ting.
Okay. You are not going anywhere without, following us on our socials. Instagram @_ThyGap, Twitter @ThyGap, and Facebook ThyGap it is. Or why not write email to us, mindthygap@gmail.com. For other people who only use Apple, you can also give us a rating and leave a comment on our ThyGap podcast. Because you know what all doctors say, ThyGap podcast. Subscribe and share.